Are we live, everybody?
Are we live, Gerry?
Are we live, everybody?
We're live directly in the Facebook group today, Gerry.
Oh yes, we're doing a little podcast there, WJ. Little bit of a shooting the shit, as they say there, WJ.
So basically, Gerry, should we talk a little bit about this new direction thing we're thinking of doing? Or?
Oh, I might as well.
Okay, so basically, we're going to be coming back to do some content in the group. And then we're going to download some of that content and shove it onto YouTube, Gerry. It's pretty much what it's going to be there.
Oh boy.
So tell him, Gerry.
Oh, you want me to? All right. So essentially, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be doing like just shooting the shit in here, and then if there's like any kind of topics we talk about, we're just gonna put it on the main YouTube channel, and I'll be editing it, and then also I'll be doing all my wrestling videos on the Wrestling Juggernauts channel. So, I've got some plans for the General Gerry channel. I'll talk about that later, but essentially what we're doing is we're going to be going live on here, shooting the shit, talking away, and then with any clips that we're talking about, like any AEW stuff or anything like that, we're going to cut it up, and then we're just going to essentially put it on the channel. You know, so that's what we're going to be doing.
So basically, we might do like a real podcast thing where we put some effort once a week into a live show. You know, we upload the full show on YouTube, and we might like cut it up, chop it up, and upload some certain clips. We might do bonus shows like this, and Gerry might grab it, chop it up, upload some stuff that the people on YouTube might like to watch, kind of deal there. So basically, we're going to be doing like fucking podcast style shit there. Like, and Gerry wants to still do vids on the YouTube. I might still do some vids on the YouTube as well there, but like, I like the idea of going live in the group, taking that and shoving it on YouTube, and without having to do a whole bunch of shit for YouTube every fucking day or whatever. YouTube makes me fucking sick.
Also, on the subject of Scott Casey Gale, I'll talk about it later, Scott, but we were thinking of putting your reviews on the channel as well, Scott. So, and also Robby and also Patrick Maves as well. So, if any of you guys, because I noticed also, what's his name again? Oh, God, he's going to kill me for not knowing his name. What's his other name there? The fucking, trying to find the fucking live show he did. So anyone that's
the goof.
No. Well, maybe the goof. Well, he's our
twisted pretzel guy. Or...
yeah. So the guy from Belfast there. We're
Jordan, you mean?
Jordan, you know, I was gonna say, obviously he wrote to me because he was worried about going live in the group on this group. And I was like, yeah, it's no problem, mate. Just go on ahead. So if any of you's kind of, because we've seen a lot of people contributing to the Facebook group and actually uploading content. So we don't want you just to upload it and then it just be thrown away. So we want to like help you out, obviously. Get those lovely subscribers there.
Yeah.
Lovely views.
So I like that people are uploading in the group because that was the plan when we first started this, right? That like my original plan was to not have to go and deal with shitty YouTube, but there I am again, Gerry. For fuck's sake, there. But the things are starting to come to fruition or whatever with Big Scott Casey Gale uploading. I like that, seeing Scott upload his reviews and stuff. And so I'd like to come back more to the group and do stuff here with my friends. I want to hang out with my buddies there. And then we can take some of this material and shove it on the YouTube. If I feel like going back for real on YouTube, I can next month or whatever there. But I'm not saying that I'm quitting the YouTube there, but we're going to be coming back here more often. And we're going to take some of this material, shove it on the YouTube there. So the people on YouTube are going to get content, but you guys here in the group are going to get the content first, ladies and gentlemen, and you're going to get more there. Like the shitty throwaway video I did about the Big Show, Gerry. I uploaded it here, right here on the Facebook group there. If the people on YouTube want to watch these shitty bonus videos, they can join the group or whatever. Why would I put this in the group instead of YouTube where I can get views and get something out of it? I don't know, Gerry, but it feels good in the group, Gerry. That's all I'm saying there.
Well, YouTube's fucking dead anyway. Like, I mean, you know, like I literally was talking to a friend of mine, and he dances, right? And he got 1 million fucking views on TikTok. And then he uploaded on YouTube and only got like 100 views. So like, there's obviously something going on with YouTube. Like, it's like, you know,
these wrestling videos I do. I mean, I'm lucky if I get 7 or 8 views, and I used to get 200, 300 back in 2014. You know, and it's talking about the same thing. I had the same manner of how I did my videos. So yeah, it's YouTube. They're not throwing your shit out like they used to. They don't.
And Instagram as well, mate. Like Instagram, I was uploading my workout videos there, and some of my stories were getting a good few 100 views. Like, you know what I mean? So it's not like, you know, YouTube has to be the be and end. Obviously, we're gonna still keep the channel and stuff like that as like a hub type deal, but like, I think the days of people just solely uploading YouTube is fucking dead. It's dead.
We got the goof in the house there.
Our mascot, WJ, he's in the house. Like,
how do I fucking get to see the live comments? Fucking bad with technology, Gerry.
So see, if you just go to StreamYard, if you click on comments, you'll see all of them there. But it's just his Facebook user for whatever reason.
That's why I'm only seeing I can't talk to the people directly there, but.
Yeah, because Facebook's trying to restrict StreamYard there from us going live. You know, Facebook should come up with their own streaming service on here for multiple people rather than a mobile phone. Get it fixed, Zuckerberg. Yeah. He's too busy trying to set up internet in Africa, and he should be setting up a stream. So
people are asking about the Big Show in AEW. I addressed this in my big 4-minute video that I posted exclusively in the group yesterday there. If you guys want to talk about this thing while I go and roll some punch, I need a bit of pop in my life, Jim.
Hey, apparently he's going to wrestle and do commentary. He's going to do commentary on a new show in March.
He's going to be there next week on Dynamite.
Yeah, I'm going to watch that, see what he does. I mean, I understand why they've done it. I mean, anytime they can get a WWE star, it's going to put people watching it just to see what they do. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's the guy. I thought he was done with pro wrestling because he said in the interview that he was pretty much done. But they said I read something on one of the articles where they said he was in debt. So he pretty much had to do something, I guess. WWE probably wasn't interested in him, so he got him a nice paycheck from AEW. So we'll see what he does. He's in shape. He's in the best shape he's ever been, you know, prior to maybe 94, 95 when he first started. So most of his career he was morbidly obese. So
I had a thought today, Robby. You remember how Cody Rhodes, he randomly called himself the legend or the giant killer, which is what set off this shit with Shaq. So if Cody's the giant killer and the giant is there, well, you can put 1 + 1 together in there.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's true. I didn't even that was said on the last night. I didn't even put no thought into that. I should have, but
so they're probably going to do Cody against Big Show, at least one match there.
Big Show would kill him in a real match. I mean, come on now. But I know they would make Cody win, but it's like Cody. He's going to beat Shaquille O'Neal somehow, even if it's a disqualification, or they're not going to let him job to Shaquille O'Neal. I don't think he's a basketball player. It'll be a disqualification.
I wanted to say this here about the fucking Big Show, and this is something that's really fucking pissed me the fuck off. Right. So all these complete Muppets were like turning around saying that Vince McMahon's an evil man because he didn't hire the Big Show and he didn't do this and he didn't do that. The WWE, I want to just pretty much announce this because Dave Meltzer, I'm doing Dave Meltzer's job for him. WWE did offer Big Show a contract.
Oh.
They did offer him a contract, but it wasn't big enough because Big Show's dumbass got himself in debt, okay? So he's in so much debt and danger. I don't know, too many prozzies, I don't know. Who knows? But he was in debt and danger there, and he offered a ridiculous amount. Vince McMahon looked at him and went, "What the fuck are you doing, mate?" No. He says, "We'll hire you, but we can't offer you that much." He went to AEW, and then AEW paid him that amount of money.
Get up that checkbook. Tony Khan for that money out of this. Exactly.
But, I mean, it's a good move in AEW, I think, to kind of bring him in as a commentary or whatever. I think people are kind of overrating it a wee bit, but in Big Show's like, I know deep down Big Show probably doesn't want to be there, but they're offering him the money, so.
The only thing I would critique on that is that new show that he's going to be commentating on is going to just be on their YouTube channel. It's not actually going to be on TNT. It's called AEW Dark Elevation. So it's not even going to be like something that most people will even watch. Like they should try to get that show put on TNT or something. But then
at AEW Hot Shot Booking. It's Kenny Omega versus the Big Show. I'm coming for that title, Kenny. It won't take long until that happens there. After that, at Hot Shot Booking 2022, it's Kenny Omega versus Stang in the wheelchair match there.
You know what the crazy thing is? AEW could have actually signed CM Punk, right? That's because apparently CM Punk wrote that this was actually I think it's when AEW was starting. He actually said that like AEW offered him, and he said he would have took it, but they texted him the offer rather than calling him up or like having a direct meeting with him. So they literally texted him just saying, "Do you want to join AEW?" That's like something you say in a fucking E-Fed, like, no, you know what I mean?
Join our wrestling federation?
Yeah, and CM Punk. Like, I think a lot of people are saying, "Oh, why is CM Punk not there for?" Because CM Punk's smart, people.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think CM Punk's stock has dropped so fucking far.
Man. He's got his ass kicked so many times in UFC. It ain't funny. Nobody
Even
really.
If his stock has dropped, he's still damn good promo cutter and wrestler, right?
Yeah.
If he showed up in AEW, it would be a big deal for sure. Dude.
Oh yeah, I'm not knocking his wrestling. He's great in wrestling, but as far as him doing that UFC, I think was the worst thing he could have done. He should have just done something else. I don't know, but oh well. You live and you learn, I guess.
That would be good if they could go and get Punk and Brock Lesnar there. That would give them ratings. But That's the only way they could beat or get a big ass rating is by doing that. Brock and CM Punk and.
Because, I mean, Big Papa Tony Khan's got the money, so why is he signing these fucking weirdos that nobody's heard of? Like
He should get rid of like 50 of the bum retards that he has and fucking put the money together and get real people.
Get rid of somebody like Joey Janela or whatever his name is. Get rid of people like that really are just horrible. Like, there's a lot of them they can cut, but what they do is they get all these people that are in the indies and they try to help them out, which is, I mean, in a way I understand that, but it's just, nobody's going to know who they are because they're not established.
Well, look at Matt Sydal, formerly Evan Bourne or whatever. The guy's pretty much done.
Yeah.
Who's going to really pay money to watch Matt Sydal? Nobody, and they bring in Sydal's brother. Fuck. Mike Sydal, like who the fuck is that? Like they bring Evan Bourne, a finished Evan Bourne who was just like popular for 5 minutes until he got injured there. They bring him in that's completely worthless, and then his brother comes in, so then you end up with another worthless tag team. They got like 40 tag teams in that company. Fuck.
Yeah, they need to get. You can tell that the Young Bucks are fucking tag team, man. Like, but Tony Khan needs to just sit them down and say, look, if we're gonna make this work, we have to give something to casuals. Like, we have to give something to casuals if we're going to make ratings, because realistically, AEW have not hit 1 million ratings since they debuted, which is terrible. You know what I mean? Like, for a wrestling
organization, they did maybe twice, 3-4 times, or
Brody Lee show. I think they did.
They hit it a few times, but they haven't since the Brody Lee thing, and the long time before that.
I think even that had only got like, I'm not saying, by the way, I know there was a lot of these fucking news sources were downplaying it, but it got 900,000, you see.
Did it? Oh.
Yeah, it got like 900,000, but the problem is that a lot of these sources were like, oh, look, Brody Lee beat NXT. It's like, like it wasn't supposed to be a ratings kind of thing. It was like, unfortunately the man passed away. They're just paying respects to the man. Like, I don't think that should be contributed. It's like saying, oh, well, Chris Benoit, whenever he died, they got loads of ratings. Like, you know what I mean? Or like, any other wrestler that died, like they did a special on. It's like, you can't really do that. But I think this third show is just a big pile of fucking shite. Like,
Dark Elevation or whatever.
It sounds like something a 9-year-old came up with. Hey guys,
it's just a rip-off of NXT Evolve or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like that AEW Dark that nobody watches that comes on, Tuesday nights. It's going to be another throwaway show. If you're going to do it right. Put it on the network. Make it something special. Yeah. I don't watch YouTube channel stuff hardly, unless I'm just really bored and I just happen to be surfing on it.
Dark is just like 1 3-minute match after another. Like, there's no point of watching this really there. It's just super fast match, and there's like 15 match on one show. It's like shit, man.
They couldn't get enough views to get a second show. There's only thing because I thought at one time they were talking about doing another show on TV. But
they need to work on their first show, like their Dynamite, to start. Like, not just try to copy every single thing from WWE. Like, a few months ago, they started calling Dark their developmental and to be like NXT, right? And now Triple H has NXT Evolve, so now they have Dark Elevation. It's an obvious ripoff there. Just be yourself and quit trying to fucking be WWE and everything they have. Fuck.
They're all a bunch. marks because they're all big. They all want to be like Degeneration X, and like I remember seeing the video where Cody and them were acting like DX. It's like you can tell all these ideas are coming from Cody and the Young Bucks because they're all in those management positions. That's what's wrong with the company. They don't have a boss. Like they don't have a bit of they're doing it themselves. So. I mean,
is it all going to be Cody Rhodes' Nightmare Factory wrestlers that aren't even ready there? That's going to be the elevation, whatever.
Yeah. Probably. If it's only on YouTube, it's going to be another thing that nobody watches except for the real hardcore fans. The casuals won't even know about it.
I'm calling it now, and I'm going to say this, and you may clip this and upload it in 10 years' time. I believe that there's going to be an internal dispute with Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, all those guys. I think that they're going to eventually get in a major argument. Someone's going to quit, someone's going to leave, and the whole thing's going to fall apart like dominoes because exactly the same thing that they're doing right now is exactly what WCW has done. Like the whole notion of like, and I'm actually happy. I am happy Sting came back there because I think they kind of pulled the plug on Sting too much in WWE. But like at the end of the day, like I mean, let's just face it. They're trying to even look like fucking WCW. But at the end of the day, WCW in 2000 is 10 times better than anything that AEW's doing. Got better ratings for fuck's sake. Like,
they still had most of their stars in 2002. They had Hulk Hogan still. They had Scott Steiner. I mean, they had a bunch of big players even near the end. I mean, Hogan left because of the whole Bash of the Beast thing, but
Did you see WWE as Scott Steiner's nephew, Bronson Ray Steiner, and the son of Rick Steiner?
Oh, what is he in NXT?
He's at the Performance Center now being trained, along with that big kid that looks like Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I saw that guy. He looks like a beast. Yeah. But Vince gets him on them roids. He'll be electrified.
Parker Boudreaux. He does look like Lesnar big time.
I'm gonna get you on them roids. I'm gonna get you pumped up like Brock.
Do you know what? This is the main thing I have a problem with is that I personally believe the current NXT roster are fucking diarrhea. Like if you looked at let's just if you looked at NXT maybe before, you could say maybe Finn Balor and Sami Zayn. There's a few people that might be good in there. But if you look at what's going on now in NXT, the majority of those people are just trash. NXT brought up people like Roman Reigns, etc., and all those people. Like, there's nobody like Kevin Owens. Like, I know people don't like Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens but there's nobody in that current NXT roster that's good, and that says to me, like, what if actually fucking Vince put actual effort in NXT?
What about that Ring of Honor guy that everybody was big on?
Adam Cole.
Yeah, baby.
He's terrible.
Yeah. Oh, he's the man. Well, he's short though. He's really short. I don't know.
They all look like mid-carders.
If done right, I can see some big things with Rick Steiner's son in WWE. I don't see fucking who wrote it there, but
yeah, if he's right. His dad was a hell of a wrestler. So.
That was a tag team. Fuck the Steiner brothers. That was good wrestling back then.
I wish we had wrestling like that with tag teams, and there are a whole lot of good ones out there. A bunch of them to do kicks and flips. That's about it.
I'm saving up money, actually. Got a 10-year plan, baby, to make my own wrestling organization. Yeah. Y'all think I'm joking? I ain't joking, people. I'm coming for you.
NIW, Northern Ireland Wrestling.
Right, I got it. What was it? Did you see the Dark Side? I forget what the wrestling company was. The guy went crazy and overdosing on cocaine that started a wrestling fed, tried to compete with the WWF. I'm forgetting his name now. I watched it. Be like,
you know what the crazy thing is though? See the actual Northern Ireland wrestling scene. It's called All Ulster Wrestling. It is actually legit fucking wrestling. Like, you know, I personally believe it's better than Ring of Honor or even fucking AEW. Even for that, like some of those.
What's it called? All Star.
It's like Ulster Pro Wrestling. And it's like hardcore. It's not that indie kind of bullshit. You know what I mean? It's actually proper good wrestling. They took a few guys in there from WWE, but like overall, there is some like really good people in there. You know what I mean? But I don't know.
You know,
somebody wrote, get some guns and drugs in the back, old school.
Get some fucking crack for these fucking weirdos and just get them violent and get them in hotels fucking drinking and shit, because all the only fucking drugs these lot are taking in the current roster right now is vitamin C, for fuck's sake. It's like, you know, like even rock stars and pop stars in general, like they're just so boring. Like you know, the Rolling Stones that would throw fucking like, you know, televisions out the window, and then you got Ed Sheeran looking for a fucking union degree. Like what's going on with these people? Like, it's unbelievable. If I was rich and famous, I'd be fucking off my absolute tits. I'm telling you now, WJ. I'd be on TMZ every day. I'd be Charlie
telling
Sheen.
You to a video game, buddy.
Have you played the latest phone game where you can build castles and jack off with dragons?
What about the card game, WJ? What about the WWE card game, Yu-Gi-Oh?
What do you think of Karrion Kross? I think he looks like a wrestler, so that's a plus there.
Is that the guy with the mustache roided out to his tits, like?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I like him. Like, get them roids. They need to just, I don't know, just do some backstage roids. Did you hear Braun Strowman was accused of doing steroids because he had a needle on his bathroom window? Did you see that?
No.
So, like, apparently Braun Strowman was gonna actually do a bodybuilding contest. He was gonna be in, like, apparently he was trying to get into the Olympia or something. And he took a selfie saying, like, something.
And they saw a needle in the back?
Yeah, there was a needle beside a bag. And they never addressed it, and then it didn't even get reported or anything like that. But there's like a needle actually there, because if you zoom in, and then all of a sudden he randomly got injured and he couldn't compete in the bodybuilding contest. So I don't know. I think Vince gives a few of them like some of that what you call it, TRT. I think he gives some of the
hook you up some legal shit where you can build up muscles.
Like, you know, like legal, like it was like what was like legal steroids called TRT, where it's called testosterone replacement therapy.
Well, look how fucking cut and jacked Roman Reigns is when he came back from the cancer. He was pretty small there, and he came back from the hiatus during COVID, and now he's fucking cut now there. You know what I mean? He's fucking, unless he fucking grew 10 pounds of ultra lean muscle in 6 months, then something happens.
It's definitely impossible. I know from experience, like, you like, if you're building yourself naturally, you cannot obtain, like, Triple H is a perfect example. You cannot physically be like Triple H if you're not on gear. Like, it's just impossible to do. And a lot of those guys, what'll happen is that they'll be natural in like their 20s, but then see when they hit the late 30s, that's when they start roiding it up. Like, you know what I mean? So Mike Tyson, for example, he's on TRT. Because if you look at Mike Tyson, he's what, 50 something, like late 50s.
So and then you can go get a prescription from your doctor. Hey doc, my penis is limp. I'm feeling like a woman there. Give me some testosterone there.
Yeah, and
the libido's off.
And the thing is that, like, you know, it's it's mad, like the whole TRT thing, because it's legal. So it's essentially what they do, I believe, is replace the bad testosterone with good, or they look at like your testosterone levels, and they kind of like analyze. Like I watched this guy called moreplatesmoredates.com, and he goes into detail about it. But like Cena, for example, he's blatantly on it.
Oh God.
The Rock, I mean, Jesus Christ, Christ the night, like he's definitely on the fucking gear. Like, come on, like, you know what I mean?
Imagine him running for president. I'm sorry.
Oh my God, Jesus, no, please not. Like,
I haven't watched that much of Cross on NXT because I don't watch NXT that much.
yeah.
Like most WWE fans, I think you wanted to discuss the topic of NXT a bit more in depth, Gerry. Or...
Well, I actually watched NXT when I did that review, and I wanted to poke all over the screen. Like, it was that disgusting. The Cross guy didn't show up. He's the only reason why I wanted to watch it. And it's just, you know, at the end of the day, NXT, to me, like, if you look at the roster, it's worse, I think, than AEW. But you got to bear in mind, this is like a roster that's developmental. But even that being said, my main concern is, like, what is Triple H actually doing? Like, what is he actually calling these matches? Because some of these stories are terrible. There was one where it was a guy with a cowboy hat, and he was wearing his trench coat, and he looked like a complete pedophile. And he walked into the ring, and he goes, I got my stock from GameStop, and now I'm rich. Yay! And it just was not, and I just wanted the book all over the screen. It was that disgusted. And I was like, this is the future of WWE. So someone needs to slap Triple H, grow some balls. I know he probably doesn't have any with the roids he's taken, but just slap the shit out of him and say, just book it like you did in the 90s, mate. Like you used to talk to fucking Vinnie Mac back in the day, and actually book some stars. You know what I mean? Because
it's booked for like indie fans, like the kind of indie fan, like, you know how some fans, it's like, I don't like talking. I don't want the soap opera. I want wrestling. I want in-ring wrestling. It's booked like that. Less talking, less stories, and just a bunch of wrestling matches. But like McMahon said back in the day, if you don't have a story, then it's just a bunch of men in their underwear pretending to fight, and that's all it is on NXT. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
And even what's his name was talking about this recently. The tattoo guy, the announcer there, Corey Graves. He said that the guys need more personality and backstories and stuff like this because it's like a bunch of boring guys on it. Like it's all like
they don't have a unique look. A lot of them, they just look like average dudes. They don't have like a.
It's all small wrestlers or whatever. But like, you know, if every guy is a small wrestler, like Riley said this back in the day on the Smart Busters channel, you have Daniel Bryan, that's the small guy. But if they all look like Daniel Bryan, then you're going to have a problem. Well, that's the problem they have today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
NXT, it's all a bunch of bland little guys, right? And they're not half as good as Daniel Bryan, and they don't have his charisma or anything like that, you know? It's just a bunch of bland young guys or whatever. So, like Buddy Murphy, people, they're not pushing Murphy. Well, Murphy doesn't have a character. Like, he can wrestle or whatever, but like, if he doesn't have Seth Rollins cutting the promos, what do you do with Murphy by himself or whatever? So that's the problem on NXT. It's a bunch of small, bland guys, indie guys that we don't know about, and they don't give them stories or characters. It's Adam Cole was in ROH. He wrestled in Japan, so here he is, and he's here in NXT. But like the viewer at home, when they watch it, they don't give a shit if he was in Ring of Honor or Japan, or all they're seeing is a bunch of bland small guys, right? And when they started NXT, the 2-hour show, they took all the guys from 205 Live, which just wasn't working, 205 Live, and they just merged that with NXT, and they grabbed a bunch of the boring British NXT guys or whatever, NXT UK, and they fucking put all that together. So now when you watch NXT, it's Oney Lorcan versus Floyd Barber or something. It's like, who is this? Who are these boring fucks, right? They're having a great wrestling match. Okay, but I don't care. Like, I don't know who they are. There's no reason to care. Like, so that's why most people don't watch it. Fuck. At least Enzo had charisma. Enzo was good and stuff.
Yeah. He was funny.
Yeah. Enzo's a small guy, but he can talk. These guys, they can't talk. Like, Enzo was worth something because he was funny, entertaining. He could talk and stuff. But these guys, it's like you got 35 guys, one after the other, wrestling on the 2-hour show. They all look the same. So,
yeah, I think, but this is the thing with me is that, like, see the way the wrestling spectrum is right now, it's split into 3 categories. And this will summarize everything. It's exactly like EFED's WJ, so just bear with me here. All these wrestlers are in 3 categories. The first category is anorexic and is skinny fat, right? That's your kind of fucking young bucks, skinny anorexic people. The second is, you know, like these kind of these demon people. They all have like big beards and they all want to be a demon or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that weird kind of shit that's going on in wrestling now. And the final thing is fat people with beards. Like they all, like, that's the 3 categories of wrestlers right now, is that they look either anorexic, they're fat with beards, or they want to be a demon. And that's the problem with wrestling, is that they all want to do that, or they put their face paint on, or like with a skull thing or whatever. Like, the thing is with Sting is that the face paint didn't define him. It was like his storylines that defined him to make him better. But what these wrestlers are doing is that they're relying on their gimmicks itself in order to actually become a better wrestler. But that doesn't happen. Like, you have to become your own person. Like, if you look at any great wrestler, it's essentially, and Righty pointed this out, which is great, which I agree with. I even said this a lot of years ago. A great wrestler is their own personality dialed up to 100. Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Mick Foley, all those guys. The reason why they were so good is because it was their own personalities dialed up to 100. But the problem is that a lot of these wrestlers that we have now, their own personality is as boring as a fucking blank, flat, white wall. They're just not entertaining to me. And I remember there was a guy on there, they put him in like the main event or something of NXT. He was in a wheelchair. And this is a man that's like 5'5". He's built like a jockey's whip. He can't talk. And that's the problem with wrestling, is that you don't, like, look, you don't have to have all the factors of being a wrestler, but you got to have 3 things. Have a good look. Okay, actually show that you can exercise, actually show that you can talk, and actually have a good gimmick that actually speaks to people and actually people can engage in. Heels, for example, is a perfect example. Just because you do this jockey-ish, and this is the thing with heels, and this is why I don't. MJF, I kind of used to like, because I thought, oh, maybe he could add more to his character. But what these heels are doing now is that they are either dark and mysterious and they're demons, or they're these jocked up kind of fucking wrestlers that act like jocks. Like this kind of, The Miz, for example, is a perfect example. MJF, that kind of style of heel, I cannot stand because it's cheap. It's very, very cheap. It's not like proper. Like Vicky Guerrero is an example of someone who gets legitimate heat. X-Pac is someone who gets legitimate heat. Just because you say, that's the thing with MJF. He's saying stuff that the actual crowd agrees with, but he acts like a heel. That's not a proper heel. A proper heel is someone who invokes real hatred towards you, someone that actually really hates you. And that's what these kind of guys don't know. They feel like being an anti-heel is the be and end all of what a wrestler is. Stone Cold Steve Austin did it because he actually, furthered it, even though he copied Sandman, with all due respect to him. But like a lot of this anti kind of fucking face stuff is just annoying me. And that's the problem, is that a lot of these heels don't know how to actually invoke heelish things. Like, be on Twitter and fucking troll people. Like, I gotta give credit to that fucking guy. What you call that group that I was laughing at with the masks in WWE?
Retribution?
Yeah. One of the guys on there is actually being a good heel by trolling people on Twitter. That's what a heel does.
Oh, yeah. T-Mac, or what was his name?
T-Bone or T-String. I don't know what his name is. He's at least doing something. But like this kind of philosophy that Miz and MJF are amazing, I don't agree with, because it's cheap. It's very, very cheap. It's like it's almost like, right, let's just say, like, I don't want to drone on WJ, so sorry if I'm going on a bit too much, but essentially, let's just say me and WJ are like, I don't know, having a fucking feud or whatever, and I start ranting, but I start saying stuff that the crowd agrees with and say it in a heel way. That's not what a real heel does. A real heel invokes pure hatred against you. Like, people want to fucking kill you. They want to give you death threats. That's what an actual heel does. But this kind of philosophy that, oh, I'm a heel even though I try and get the crowd on my side. No, that's not what a heel is. And it pisses me the fuck off.
Yeah.
Going back to the size of wrestlers there. Back in the day, before our time, wrestling was presented like if it was real, back when they would protect kayfabe, like my aunt or my dad's aunt, like she used to fucking, like when I was a little kid there and she would watch the show there, she used to fucking get into it hard like it was real. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like when they grew up or whatever, there was a wrestling federation in Quebec that used to tour in Quebec, and they used to go to watch that, and they used to take it very serious. And one of my dad's uncles, apparently, he threw a dart at one of the wrestlers. I don't remember which wrestler, Edouard Carpentier, or maybe not him, but a wrestler like that they fought lutte internationale. There was multiple like versions of that there, but like this is before our time. I think it still existed when I was a kid, but I didn't know about it there. But they used to come to Hall to wrestle. Hall, now it's called Gatineau, Quebec, but it used to be its own city in Hall, and there was a lot of wrestling there. And her name was Maggie, my aunt, or my father's aunt, and she would go and they would take it serious. And her brother, either her brother or my grandmother's brother or whatever, one of them he took it so serious, he threw a dart at one of the wrestlers, and the wrestlers punched him in the face and broke his jaw or whatever. that happened because he did that. He was one of those crazy fans, I guess. But back then, they thought that their favorite wrestler was getting corked for real, to the point that they wanted to get physically involved and attack the wrestlers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So back then, like, in order to fucking make people believe that it was sort of real or whatever, people knew it was fake, I guess, but a lot of people thought it was real, or they treated it like it was. In order to give that image, the wrestlers looked like tough guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like back then, it wasn't Marco Stunt playing with a dildo in the ring. It was presented like two athlete, tough men. They're going to have a big match there. That's how it was presented before our time, you know? So for people to believe in that and to pay for this, you know, they had to look like athletes. You know, they were presented like real athletes. And when you look at a baseball game or a basketball game, it's not, well, basketball, they're slimmer. That's a bad example there. But football, but basketball too, they're tall, giant men, for fuck's sake, you know? Any sport, this big fucking athletic men there that can fucking out physically whip any of our ass in any sporting event. You know what I mean? It was men that are way superior to other men sports wise, right? That's what you get in the game in real sports. So in order to convince wrestling fans that it's like that wrestling, they had to present men who look like athletes. You know what I mean? They had to present men who look big. So you had big, muscular men back in the day, right? That could fool the marks into paying big money to watch a match. Sorry, my cat's making noise there.
Oh, you got a new cat?
Yeah. The cat, the wrestlers had to fucking, they had to look like men, right? So that's why wrestlers were huge back then. And that's why traditionally wrestlers look like big, strong, tough men. Because they had to actually make people believe it's real or whatever, right? But nowadays, it's not like that. It's, we know it's fake or whatever. But what happened is, like, the independents especially, they're like, oh, it's fake. Who cares? It's going to be all inclusive. So then it's a bunch of skinny men now, like this Peter Avalon guy and Marco Stunt. Like a guy like fucking Jungle Boy that's 105 pounds. I like Jungle Boy, but he never would have been a wrestler back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So now instead of them going out and grabbing athletes and bodybuilders, which is what always made money in wrestling, they're grabbing their cousins and like Mike Seidel, and they're grabbing their friends, and it doesn't matter if they're big like a broomstick or whatever. But then if you look at wrestling, what it was when it was all men who looked like athletes, who were in shape like athletes, who could move like athletes in the ring, you go from that to what you have now. Like in AEW, there's 4 or 5 big guys and the rest are midget. It's like 205 Live. But for everybody almost is in 205 Live. The whole Fed is 205 Live. And even that's big for AEW, 205, you know. Most of them aren't even 200 pounds. So you go from big, realistic-looking tough men who had charisma. Not only back then did they have to have men who looked the part, right? Either bodybuilder or big freaks like Earthquake and Yokozuna and The Undertaker, stuff like this. There, not only did they have to look the part, but they had to be charismatic. They had to be able to talk, right? Nowadays, they don't have that look. They can't talk. And these new guys, they're not athletes. Most of them can't wrestle properly in AEW. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's like a huge difference in looking at wrestling back then. Back then, they looked like athletes. A lot of them were like collegiate athletes. They were better to do, athletic stuff and better to talk, better at everything. Fuck. Nowadays, it's skinny men. They do a flip and then they stop and they ask to be worshipped. You notice this in AEW?
Yeah, it's like they stop halfway through the match and go, like they pause. Like I don't know.
They just pause every time they do a flip and they do the hand thing, and they act like smug, like they're full of themselves. And those are faces acting like that, not even the heel there. These are the face you're supposed to root for, a guy doing a flip and he stops and demands to be praised for his flip. It's like, get the fuck out of here, midget. Fuck. They're not even good. Fuck.
Like, Cody Rhodes even turned around and was like, there's no such thing. Like AEW will not have the philosophy of faces and heels. He says like there won't be any definitive thing for faces and heels, which is just fucking the most idiotic thing I've ever heard in my life. It's like, yes, like Stone Cold Steve Austin was a mix between a heel, but the reality of it is that he progressed as a face. Like that's why like The Rock did so well, because he was originally a heel and progressed to a face. Same as like, Stone Cold Steve Austin, he was a heel, progressed to a face. Yes, that does happen. But at the end of the day, if you look at The Rock in like 2000, for example, the Royal Rumble 2000, he was shown as a face. Stone Cold Steve Austin in the Attitude Era, he was a face because people cheered for him against Vince McMahon, who was a heel. You in order to tell good storytelling, you have to have one good guy and one bad guy. It's been a tale as old as history. Yes, you got your anti-heroes from Breaking Bad and you got the Punisher and you got all this, but at the end of the day, the storyline still remains. You got a good guy, you got a bad guy, and the good guy prevails or the bad guy wins. It's just ridiculous to me that they don't understand the basic foundation of storytelling. And that's what's really lacking in WWE and even AEW and NXT and all these other fucking fucking shows. They don't have storytelling, as you said. Like, and the physique, as you mentioned, WJ, like, I don't mean to brag, but I'm actually bigger and taller than some of these wrestlers. It's a fucking, that's a joke. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. Someone who works out the odd end is fucking bigger than most of these fucking wrestlers. Like, that's ridiculous to me. You know what I mean? Like, so, I remember...
Like, it's okay if they're small or whatever, but now they're all fucking small, and it's not the same that it was. It can't be, because back then there was a high standard of what it took to become a wrestler. Now this all-inclusive thing of you can bring in all kind of skinny guys that aren't even good or anything there. I don't know. I don't know if that's what they mean by all-inclusive in AEW. Maybe it's about Nyla Rose. I'm not sure there, but I'm talking like Nyla Rose. It is what it is. I'm not against Nyla Rose being there or whatever there, but like, I'm talking like this thing that like a guy like Marco Stunt, I don't want to sound like Jim Cornette there, but like back then you couldn't have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just like what I was saying, what I was about to say, it's a requirement now that you have to be able to turn like 500 flips in order to
So
get
since when did doing a flip become the thing that gets the big cheer? Just doing a flip and everybody gets on their high horse
Oh my
about a
God!
flip. Why? Like, the fuck is that?
He does all wrestling moves. He can't do flips. Like, well, I mean, you got a story. You got to tell a story. You got to have a basic wrestling match. I mean, you're doing all these like flips 100 million times. It's one thing if you use it as a special move that you do occasionally, but when you see this in every match, you kind of like get bored with it. That's my problem with AEW is every match is the same, especially the tag team matches. They're the worst. It's like everything feels like it's a dance routine or something. Like they all got to fall at the same time and stage dives or, where that's just how it is, man. It's gymnastics.
So like when they were telling us, like, when McMahon admitted that wrestling was fake or whatever, and it's not a sport and it's entertainment, we already knew that there. But like when they admitted that or whatever, for the first long while, they still had the same kind of wrestlers that look like big, tough men with character, right? And then something changed at some point. They just started bringing in a ton of small guys, like, and that's the thing. What do you do with these guys? Like, it's all small guys who can't talk or anything. So they can all wrestle well. Like, they can all do the same the same match that they stole from AJ Styles or whatever. But like, what do you do with 10,000 small, bland guys that all look the same, right?
Yep, that's the problem.
The thing is, like, you got to look at small guys like Eddie Guerrero. I would even say AJ Styles has character.
Eddie Guerrero was a smaller guy, but like, even Eddie was big compared to a lot of these guys. But like, Eddie was fucking. Eddie was on a different level than fucking most wrestlers. You know what I mean? He was just good, let's say, and good wrestler, good personality, great talker. He had it. Let's say he could have been an actor or something, maybe in police movie or tough guy movie, the gangster or something. Yeah, man. That probably might have happened if he wouldn't have died. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
Eddie was smaller, but he had fucking charisma. Like, when Eddie beat Brock Lesnar for the belt, everybody went nuts. You know what I mean? When Eddie beat Brock there, it wasn't a bunch of people online. Oh, he's too small. It's not believable. Dave Meltzer said it's not okay. Maybe this happened on the Dave Meltzer level of things there. But when Eddie won the belt, it was a great moment. You know what I mean? It was acceptable that Eddie beat a man 5 times his size, let's say, and won the world title or whatever. But like, these guys, they're not Eddie, let's say. People always say that, like, Mark mentioned in the chat, remember when Brett and HBK were considered small? Like, people are going to say that, well, HBK wasn't big, but HBK, so these small guys, they're not HBK, they're not Eddie Guerrero, and even they're a lot bigger than these two small guys. Like, now it's gone to a point that it just doesn't look like wrestling anymore. Like in AEW, you have Brian Cage, that's a big fucking guy, let's say.
Yeah.
Brian Cage looks like a man or whatever, and then the Ricky Starks guy looks like his little cousin or something. Let's say.
Yeah, it's funny.
like Darby Allin, Ricky Stark, Brian Cage, and you have one guy who looks big. You have Taz, who's short, but he looks like a man, but he's too old and he can't fight. So you have one guy that looks like a wrestler, and sadly, he's not the one they're pushing. That's it.
Yeah.
That's one of the few things I enjoy in AEW is Taz, that group. There ain't a whole lot on there. There's a few things I like.
Kenny Omega's a fucking ratings killer as well. Jesus Christ, like, holy fuck.
He's horrible. Everybody said he was like the best thing because of that match he had with Jericho some time ago, but now it's like now everybody sees him for who he is. He's just overrated as hell. He's not that great at all.
And I said this to WJ, like, see, whenever Kenny Omega won the AEW championship, I was saying to WJ, I says, I bet you any money people will then start to see what Kenny Omega's like and say, actually, this guy isn't as good as what people say. Because the reason why Kenny Omega got so famous is because it's a Japan thing. People overblew him and people said, you're amazing. It's like, when your friend tells you to watch like a TV series and he says it's absolutely amazing, you can't miss it. Then when you watch it, you think, fuck me, that's a shite. But what you do is that you pretend that they like it because you don't want to offend your friend. Yeah. So then what happens is you say to your other friend, oh, yeah, watch this, you might like it. And then the cycle goes again and again and again. And that's what's happened with Kenny Omega. Cody Rhodes is the perfect example. Cody Rhodes' best run in his life was when he was Intercontinental Champion in WWE. That was the last time he ever had a good run. He was terrible as Goldust. He was terrible on the mic. The only thing he ever did in New Japan or Ring of Honor or whatever the hell you want to call it was when he said, fuck the revival, and everyone went, haha, that's so funny, even though he copied the Smart Busters, and I'll say it right here, he copied them there. So, what is Cody Rhodes actually done? He's sitting there with his fucking wife, who's the Triple H of the fucking women's division in AEW. She keeps injecting herself in all these storylines, and what happened?
You went from Stardust to being online complaining about his name, how WWE stole his name, and they're stealing Papa's matches, this and that. And then out of nowhere, he's a hotshot businessman there. He's a COO, baby. Big hot shot with a suit, and it's all a big fucking fake lie. He presents himself like he's a big fucking, I don't know what there, but
big fucking talent is what he is.
A big businessman with his suits and the press conference, and it's like, give me a fucking break there. He was just a schmuck in WWE because he's the son of Dusty Rhodes. I'm supposed to pretend he's a big hot shot now in AEW. Give me a break there.
And what was it on hardcore wrestling? Like they said, oh, we're gonna bring back the ECW vibe. Like the only person that's kind of done that a little bit is Jon Moxley, and then you had the other weird guy on there. He got fired for like sexual assault or whatever, or something. I don't know. GM and girls there. They had him on there. I thought he was quite good, but then he turned out to be a fucking weirdo, like all the rest of them. Like Martin Skirtle, for example, that fucking weirdo. So at the end of the day, it all boils down to, like, they said that they were going to do all these things and they haven't. Like, even the ECW, like, I love the fucking ECW. Like, Sandman is one of my favorite wrestlers. Like, Jeff Hardy's first, Sandman second. But with Sandman, he didn't have the physicality, but he had the presence of being a badass. You know what I mean? He looked like a man's man. You know what I mean? You thought, fuck, I would love to be that person. And the thing is with what's going on now is that you have these guys you just can't relate to. there's no real, and the thing is, a lot of people seem to think, oh, this is because you're getting older, Gerry or WJ or Robby. It's because you're getting older. This shit's been going on since I was 20. I've been calling this since 2010. Like ever since the whole thing happened, and until 2010, at least 2010 had storylines. See, once it hit 2013, 14, 15, that's when it all took a massive dump, and that's when it all went to crap. Prior to what people said, wrestling was actually interested in 2011 and 2010 because at least there were storylines in place. I don't even have a favorite wrestler anymore, apart from.
Fuck, I haven't had a favorite wrestler in a long time, man.
There's no one that actually says who's your all-time current favorite wrestler. Like nobody actually has that. You know what I mean?
Back in the day when we were in the YWC, everybody had to claim to have their favorite. Let's see. Yeah. When I first started out, every channel they would say who's their favorite wrestler.
And there's no one like. You know what I mean? I used to like Dean Ambrose in WWE, and then now he's become like, I don't know, I don't know what's happening. Like, obviously he's happier, which is good, like, you know what I mean? Like, but, it's like, I understand maybe why he left WWE, but at the same time, it's like, come on, man, like, he was a former WWE champion, and he's fucking, all of these, like, all this kind of philosophy that, all these kind of wrestlers are enjoying themselves and stuff, I guarantee you, and I'm calling it now, in about a year or two, a lot of these wrestlers are going to get fired in AEW, and they're going to do U-shoots, they're going to shoot on people, and they're going to say exactly what's going on. You got to look at, there was a sound recording guy, and he wasn't innocent either. I just want to say that, but he talked about how Cody Rhodes would fucking bash him and stuff, and like, apparently Cody Rhodes is like so egotistical, apparently backstage, to the point where he's bossing people to sound people about and all that there. And that's what I think. I think Cody Rhodes sees himself as the next Triple H, but at the end of the day, it's different because Tony Khan's the one that owns that fucking company. You know what I mean?
So like they try to copy everything, like.
Yeah, there's no originality anymore. And
Cody Rhodes has to be the Triple H. They have the game. They have to copy the NXT elevation. Everything is copy. What were you gonna say, Gerry?
Oh no, I was gonna say, I just think like Cody Rhodes is just. I think he's so, like, even his baby announcement, it was just so egotistical. Like, it was just so full of him. And, like, could you imagine Stephanie and Triple H doing that? Like, the whole, like, this soft music in the background and opening a door. And like, it's just so, like, egotistical to the point where it's like they feel as if they have tried to elevate themselves over the actual current stars in AEW. And if you can't see that, you're like, his wife is just injected herself in all of these stories. It's just getting to the point where it's unbearable now. It's just completely unbearable. She was supposed to be in charge of the women's division. The women's division is an absolute goddamn joke. TNA had the best women's division. I hate to say it because I don't particularly like TNA, but TNA had the best women's division back in 2010. You had Velvet Sky. You had all the women on there, good-looking women that could actually wrestle. Now you got like fucking either, and I said this, WJ, on my video, where you got all these women have multicolored hair dyes, tattoos, and they look like meth heads. Like that, I don't know what's going on with the women's division. I actually want to talk about that, if that's okay. Like the women's division right now is an absolute fucking goddamn joke. WWE's women's division is a joke as well. It ain't much better. I like this whole shoving down our throats. Like, I get it, you want women's wrestling, but like if you look at, like, you know, China, for example, is an amazing example of someone who's a great female wrestler. I just cannot for the life of me understand why AEW's women division isn't as good. Just because you bunch of Japanese women in there and pretend that everyone should know who they are. Nobody knows who they are. present to us why we know who they are. Like, you know, you got Gail Kim, for example. She's a perfect example of a female wrestler that can present herself. I'm all over the place here, WJ. I got so much to say here.
yourself, yeah.
But the thing is, the female division is that it's a complete goddamn joke. It's just a joke. Like, what is your woman Brandy Rhodes thinking? Injecting herself in these storylines and just essentially, like, whenever some type of storyline's happening, she puts her face in it and go, "Hello, how's it going?" Like, she's not good. She's not talented. She's a good-looking girl. She just needs to go to the back and actually put women in there that can actually wrestle. For the love of fucking all that is holy, god damn it! It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I like Britt Baker. I do like her though.
Yes,
she's funny. She's sexy as hell too.
I don't know why they haven't made her the champion there. Maybe it's because she's not as a good wrestler or whatever, but
well, she's good.
It would have been better than having it on a bunch of Japanese women nobody knows or cares about. At least she's cutting promos every week and she wrestles. Might as well have given her the belt there.
I agree with this statement, by the way. The Brandy girl from NXT, was it there's a girl on there, there's this, what do you call this girl? It's like a redhead girl in NXT. I'll get her name here. What you call her fucking name? She's got red hair and she's really good looking. What's her fucking name? I think her name is Brandy something. I think Brandy Lauren. Brandy Lauren. That's the girl. I swear to God, they may put the fucking women's belt on that woman, because if you want ratings, give it to her. Trust me, she could wrestle. Unlike most of these cracked out women that's on the roster right now, she's actually good looking. Give her the belt. She's absolute. Like, I'm telling you now, WJ, this woman, she keeps me awake at night, WJ. But with the red hair and everything, oh my God, like, you know, I'm sorry, WJ.
I don't know who she is.
I'd have to see her. I probably would like her. I like most of the women. I probably would fuck most of them, many of them if I could.
So if you look at the ratings, like NXT gets fucking, you know, for sometimes only 500,000 viewers. So most WWE fans don't watch the show. You know what I mean?
Training grounds. That's why I never could get in NXT. Even when it was good, I never could really, because I'm like, well, this is training grounds. I want to see what they do when they get on the main roster. Because to me, that's I mean, you look at Finn Balor. He failed. He had to go right back to NXT. He couldn't even cut it. He had to go back to the training grounds.
I only watched the takeovers before. Now I don't even bother watching them there. But
yeah, I mean, some people like it. I just never could get into it.
So that's the thing. Like, it's easy for AEW to beat a show that nobody was watching even before AEW came along. You know.
I'll show you real wrestling, WJ. What's here? Like, that's what female wrestling's all about, WJ.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah, put the belt on her, Vinnie Mac. I'm telling you now.
She's in NXT here.
Yeah, she's in NXT, and she's my wife, WJ. But put the belt on her, and we're golden there.
Maybe I'll try to watch a bit of it to see what it's like or whatever.
I got that Akira Shida video I need to send you there, WJ.
Who? The AEW champ?
Yeah. God, she's fucking hot. It's like her.
She's a good-looking woman. Her there.
I'd be going up a quart of jizz in the room.
What did you say?
I don't know. It's censored. I like her very much.
I think nowadays we're not allowed to say that the women are hot. There, it's either feminism or you have to talk about their in-ring skill. Or...
Here's a trick, fellas. If you're watching this right now and you don't know whether to tell a woman she's good looking, just tell her she's good looking, because 9 times out of 10 she'll be interested in you because they want the attention. Oh, yeah. You can fight a lot of things, WJ, but you can't fight biology.
So either that or you get nailed with sexual harassment. It depends on the situation, too.
It depends on the situation, but 9 times out of 10, don't be a creep. You know what I mean? Don't be a creepy weirdo or anything like that. But if you do like a girl, just say, "Oh, you're looking very nice." Don't be like, you're an angel. Like, don't do that kind of weirdo shit. Like I've seen a lot of fellas right now acting very weird with women. This whole kind of, you're an angel from heaven. Like, no man talks like that. Just talk to a woman like you would talk to anybody else. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of these feminists were rising up, is because a lot of men just generally don't know how to talk to women. That's just my 2 cents, WJ.
It's wild, it's wild times we're living in.
The feminism is taking over, but I'll tell you one thing that stays, and that is the goof. The goof is our mascot for Wrestling Juggernauts.
Wrestling fans today are looking for more people like Sunny Kiss.
No more Sunny Kisses. God almighty. I hate to watch her or him, sorry.
They're pretending to be sensitive, hoping to get in their pants. Well, 3/4 of it is like that right there. These a lot of these guys, it's what they call clout, is it? They're these new age terms or whatever. They're to try to look good. I do this and I fight for this, and they just want to be seen or whatever. A lot of them there. Some people they want to stand up for stuff there, but a lot of it is bandwagon, fucking trying to look good shit.
Yeah, because you see a lot of these guys and stuff that you see, like they kind of fake it. Like it's like what Mark was saying, like fake SJWs, where it's like, they pretend to be SJWs, but they want to get with women. But the reality of it is that they're just really, really creepy men. You know what I mean? But like, if you're gonna be with a man, just be with a man who can fucking handle himself. Like, don't stop hanging around with these fucking, like, I've seen a lot of these girls are into these men with the face tattoos and the neck tattoos and all, and this kind of cracked out look and come on, girls, what are you at? Like, you know what I mean? Just get yourselves a real man, a man that can handle himself, not too creepy, but he'll treat you right, girls. Take you to that steak dinner there. Take you for some mashed potatoes there, love. Get some potatoes down, yeah, that's what I do, WJ, on a date. I'll sit beside her, and I'll put some mashed potatoes in her gab. That's what I do.
Imagine some of these new age fans on the date, Gerry. Fuck.
Oh, for fuck, thank God.
What do you like to do? What do you do for work? I don't work. I get a check every month. What do you like to do for fun? I like to watch AEW.
Oh, my God.
Have you ever heard of a federation called NXT?
Oh my God, holy fuck. Jesus Christ. Like.
I'm really looking forward to a Bronson Rake Steiner making his debut. On there. Wait, where are you going? Come back. I want to talk to you about Adam Cole.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Hard times, Gerry, but according to Dave Meltzer, WWE business is at an all-time low, and non-WWE business is the highest that it's ever been, or whatever.
Even though the ratings and fucking merchandise sales completely trump what Meltzer has said, but you don't see that on any of the dirt
So
sheets.
back when you had WCW running at full power, and you had like ECW and other big feds, that wasn't bigger non-WWE than today. What about back in the days of the territories there, when you had feds in every fucking state or whatever, almost? Wasn't that a bigger time for non-WWE than it is today? 4 or 5 indie feds on YouTube there, and one of them on TNT. Is that really the biggest non-WWE time of wrestling there? And Meltzer says this, and WWE's making the most they've ever done. Like, they have less in ratings on TV, but more money. So
yeah, they just made $1 billion. All
right. So how is it poor? It's low. WWE's going down, and non-WWE's bigger than it's ever been, or whatever. Meltzer's fucking delusional.
He's a mark for the Young Bucks and all them.
Fucking absolute mental the way some people are getting on now, like, you know what I mean?
Like Meltzer on Twitter, the way he fucking replies to people. They sold 30 tickets in 30 minutes. You don't see that no more. That's proof of modern wrestling better than McMahon. Get the fuck out there. Everything Meltzer says, he acts like when he speaks, it's the ultimate truth of whatever. That's it. Give me a break. Just an old fucking dork or whatever who takes wrestling too seriously there. Rating it 5 stars or whatever. Apparently, when this guy speaks, he's a god and it's the gospel. The guy's just voicing a smart opinion. That's all it is. It's fucking garbage opinion, too, in my opinion, Gerry.
You know what they are, WJ? A bunch of smelly bastards. That's what I say. They're like fucking absolute fucking the thing is that all these fucking indie fans just look exactly the same. They've got this like kind of, you know, multicolored hair. They've got the neck beard. They're just like, you know, the weird, like you can like anime, but like some of these wrestling fans are just into it too much, where it's embarrassing, you know what I mean? Like, and the thing is that a lot of these wrestling fans, like, remember when wrestling fans used to be cool? They used to wear the South Park t-shirts in the 90s and noughties, and you know that had to give up the middle finger or whatever. Now it's just like, I think Marco Stunt's beautiful wrestling. You know, it's just, I think he's like, who words it? Like, who words fucking, like, I remember seeing this review, and it was like it was reviewing something about Kenny Omega and AEW, and he goes, look how beautiful he moves, majestic maneuvers by Kenny Omega, like majestic. Oh, these are like terms that you use for the ballet, or you use for the fucking, I don't know, anything but wrestling. Like, you know, JR when he's trying to call, look at that impact. Look how beautiful he is. Like, it's just, you know, it's mental how wrestling fans have just, and I blame the bronies as well. Like, they're a big reason why.
The AEW, like back 2-3 years ago, these guys were praising NXT. And it was all these fat guys with beards wearing Alexa Bliss t-shirts. You remember these guys there?
Yeah.
They were all wearing Bailey t-shirts and stuff. Now these badasses are the new AEW fans. They're the most weird retard portion of the audience are watching that.
Absolute goddamn weirdos, like, you know what I mean?
And so as the wrestling business goes down, you get to less and less fans. You get to the most hardcore. That's it. We're getting closer and closer to the core, Gerry. And the core is a very scary group of wrestling fans, Gerry. The sickest fucking creepy fucks who are writing fucking fiction stories about Kenny Omega and Randy Orton out on a date or whatever. The creepy fucking dudes who are doing all kind of weird shit. They're writing weird shit on the Twitter. Their fantasy booking. They're getting closer and closer to that. That's it.
Yeah. Stalking women as well, like Alexa Bliss. She got stalked by one of those neckbeards, and one of this guy, he made like a Twitter, and he looked like a complete other goddamn weirdo. He made this Twitter, and he was saying, "I'm gonna be outside your house, Alexa Bliss, and you don't need your husband." And that's the type of fans we're dealing with here, folks. Like, you know,
there was another one like that. The guy at the Performance Center, the crazy guy who got shot by police or whatever happened.
Should have fucking shot him in the head. That's what they should have done. Like,
but like, there's a lot of crazy wrestling fan and mental guys. Like, as we get to the smaller number, there's less and like all the Joe Cools that left to watch MMA and. Different people that stop watching for different reasons, the casuals or whatever, you know. I know lots of guys, they all watched wrestling, but they know who John Cena is, but they didn't watch him, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where their knowledge of wrestling stops.
Well, even the current generation itself don't care about wrestling. Like, right, I'm going to just say this, right? It's going to be quite controversial. I don't know if anyone's going to agree with me or not, right? But the whole Bad Bunny thing, right? I get why they're doing it. Do I agree with it? No, but I understand why. The guy Bad Bunny was the highest selling merchandise seller in WWE last week. Bad Bunny. He's not even a fucking wrestler. He uploads like a music video. It gets like 20, 30, 40 million fucking viewers or whatever. The thing is that what Vince is trying to do is that he can't crack this current generation. You know, the Gen Zs with their fucking dank hairs and all this here. You can't bring them in because they're not interested in wrestling. They prefer the video games and the Twitch and all that there. You know what I mean? And all the online gaming and stuff. They can't break that audience. So, but even that being said, like, you know, in order to bring that audience in, just do cool ass shit. I think WWE just needs to go back to cursing and swearing.
So, like, the normal person isn't interested in wrestling matches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like back in the day, if you saw like Undertaker put someone through the table, then maybe a normal person would have been like, holy shit, back in the day, you know what I mean? But now you don't get any cool physical stuff like that, you know?
Oh.
You don't get any like cool physical stuff to hook in the viewer. You don't have the cool characters to hook in the viewer. So how the fuck do they get new fans, right? They're going to have to come up with something. Fuck. And I guess that's what it is, Bad Bunny or...
Oh, God.
Maybe they should try to get a couple more of these guys like that and bring them on the show. Who knows? If wrestling is going down the shithole and you got a whole bunch of fucking small jobber wrestlers that don't sell and don't do shit and they all look the same, well then take a couple of them and give them some gimmicks, fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just need to.
Maybe Chad Gable can become an electrician. Robby comes to he walks up to the ring with the construction boots and a helmet and some wire over his shoulder. And walks to the ring. You need me to fix your lights, Robby?
I know. I mean, we need real believable. They need comedy, but done in the right way.
Wrestling fans wanted there to be like a next Undertaker, like if it would have been good if there would have been like the son of Undertaker, you know what I mean? Like when they did like the son of Kurt Angle, and then he got hurt there, the fake son, the black guy there.
Yeah.
Jason Jordan, the name, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Why can't they do Undertaker Jr. or something like this? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe they're trying to do that with a Fiend, though. Like, you think
I guess the Fiend is using some of the Taker stuff. Yeah, man.
But at the same time, it's not as good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that fucking Cena match at WrestleMania last year was fucking awful. Like
I'm not saying turn Chad Gable for real into an electrician there, but like if it's a bunch of bland small guys and ratings go down, they need to fucking, I don't know, bring in something, like try to create not a new Macho Man, a new Ultimate Warrior, but like characters that fucking were special. Isn't there a way that they can design a new guy to come and create a star?
You know who we need, WJ? We need Vince Russo. That's who we need. We need Vince Russo. I agree with what Riley's saying there. Give Vince Russo in there to WWE. He'll shake him up.
Remember when there was a fake Razor Ramon and a fake Diesel or whatever there? Yeah. Imagine if they just announced next week Hulk Hogan cuts a promo, brother. And then it's Hogan, he's cutting a promo or something like this. And then somehow he like fucking somehow he goes into the Fountain of Youth or something, and he like there's like a new Hulk Hogan. Imagine like a big guy who's bald with a mustache, who's like Hogan, you know. And then they just start calling this guy Hulk Hogan, and he comes out with the music. Like when there's a new James Bond, you know what I mean? You have a new Doctor Who, a new James Bond. What if there was a new Hulk Hogan who shows up there and who is this? It's Hulk Hogan. You know what I mean? And he beats people with the leg drop and stuff like this. You know what I mean?
Well, one of the things that you're actually onto something. Like, why the fuck did they not do that with Kane? Like, out of all people, they could have done that with Kane. The guy's in a mask. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I remember, like, when I was younger, I didn't know who Kane actually was. Like, you could have easily done that with Kane. Like, just have Kane return and just, like, you know, have Kane there wearing a mask as somebody else. Like, I don't see why.
A different guy. He's called Kane, but it's just like, the Kane mask. And it's a big guy or whatever. You could do that technically. Why not? They do that in Mexico.
Yeah, like why the fuck not? Like just you know, like I think with Kane, that would be a really good thing to do, is to just have, like, obviously you're gonna have to ask permission off your man, Jacob, whatever the hell, you're gonna have to ask permission off him, like, but I don't see no reason why they can't regenerate some of the wrestlers into.
If they tell Hogan they will give you a certain amount of money, let us use your name or whatever. Yep. They create a new Hulk Hogan who beats people with the leg drop and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or they claim it's his son or something. That's it.
Son. Yeah. Oh, his son. Yeah. There's a bad story on his son.
You could have, I don't know, like, my whole thing is, why don't they have someone, right? An actual wrestler, like, build them up and actually let them call out the bullshit that's happening in wrestling today, right? Have them actually call out all that shit and just let them cut fucking just vicious promos on wrestling today. Like, these people, like, some of these fans are fucking morons anyway, so they'll believe anything. So you just cut promos and say, oh, the indies are a load of bullshit, whatever the hell it is. Just let them go absolutely insane. Just cut a massive promo on how wrestling's dying and that they're gonna do it all this here. Like, similar to what they did with CM Punk, but the reversal of that, and build that person up as a fucking champion or whatever. Like, do something, because that's the thing that's lacking in wrestling. There's not that one guy. Like, people might say Roman Reigns, and I do give him credit for doing what he's doing, but he's not at that. He's not even at really. I would say he's better than Cena, but he's not at the level of Cena. Like, it's hard to kind of say, but he's not at the kind of star power that Cena was at his prime, if that makes sense. Although I do prefer Roman Reigns over Cena, and I think Cena's a massive goofball. Like, but I think that they need that one guy. That's what they need to focus on. That one guy that actually just fucking takes over the wrestling industry and actually sets the light, and then just let the show build around that one person. And I don't think Roman Reigns, with all due respect to him, like, he's a decent enough wrestler. I think he's a good fucking performer.
He just looks like a wrestler. He looks like a star, but he doesn't have the personality there. But
yeah.
He's a good wrestler. He looks like a star, but he doesn't have the talking part of it, let's say.
They just need to stop the scripts. The scripts is fucking killing the wrestlers. Like, that's why they're not fucking coming out on their own, because they're afraid to say anything in case they get fired, and that's not a good working environment. Like, you know what I mean? Look, I don't want to compare myself to a wrestler, right? But I'll give you an example, WJ, right? Today I went on a random E-Fed, right? And one of the guys messaged, like, oh, can you help me out? It's just like not a lot of people or whatever. So I uploaded a promo with me and a fucking duck, right? Me and a duck, right? Cutting a promo, just talking the absolute biggest pile of shite, completely unscripted or whatever. And a load of people fucking liked the fucking promo, got more reaction. Like, that's all you need to do. Just do it uncensored. Like, anybody could do it. If I can do it, God, I'm a fucking idiot. Anyone else can do it. You know what I mean? Like, just have these wrestlers unscripted. Let them just fucking just call it like it is, and just, I understand, Mark, and I respect your opinion, but Eli Drake, I would put him in as the same bracket as The Miz and fucking MJF. It's that kind of, like, it's that same kind of category that people put him in, where it's like he's this jock kind of, like, he's trying too hard, if that makes sense, to be a heel. And if you're trying too hard to be a heel, you're really not a fucking heel. That's my only problem with the LA Knight guy that's in NXT or whatever. Like, he kind of tries too hard. He's good on the mic. I agree with Mark. He's good
also at the performance center. They're giving him additional training to that guy there.
With a bit of training, he might do well. I think if they do a bit of training, he'll do well. But they need to separate him from this Miz MJF kind of trend that you're seeing right now. That's what they need to do, like, you know.
You know, when there was a couple years ago, there was that Tupac. It was like Tupac on stage at Coachella. It was like, what do you call that there? Like they project Tupac on, huh?
It was a projection performance.
You remember seeing him on the stage? It looked like Tupac on the stage, but it's like a projection in the arena, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If McMahon could get some fucking stuff like this, and he could like project some old wrestling matches, imagine the money he could make with this, man. If he could do like Hogan versus Andre the Giant, you want to relive WrestleMania? Come and watch. And you could like replay the whole WrestleMania 3 card. You get to relive the whole card live. And you imagine that they set it up somehow, and you see like the wrestlers projection come to the ring and they have the match. And imagine the money he could make and sell out arena if he did stuff like that.
Yeah, fucking hell.
They do shows like that in Japan, apparently, with like Japanese like singer character or something like this there.
Like Gorillas, they did it with Gorillas. Do you remember them? Like the cartoon kind of fucking, they're like a cartoon group, but they did it with them and it was pretty good. They did actually a tour and everything. Just put the projection
Imagine they recreate, they project Steve Austin versus The Rock, and you go watch this, you pay a ticket to go see it, and it's like it looks like it was when it happened the first time, let's say.
Yeah. They'd have to do technology with the mat though for impacts. So they'd have to do like technology for that, like, you know, when they're hitting the floor. They'd have to develop technology, but you could easily get hydraulics and stuff for that.
Well, they could just like make the sound go in the speakers, let's say. Like you take the audio of the match that happened the first time and make it come through the speaker or something.
You know what they need to do, WJ, speaking of that there, do you know what I think they need to do? See the fucking intro. Do you remember like the Warzone fucking intro? Like, you know, that cool fucking intro? I think they need to bring back the old Warzone intro into WWE Raw. You know what I mean? I think they need to bring that back because see some of the fucking intro music they have.
Oh, God.
It's just absolutely awful. Like, what's the new WWE signature?
It's some kind of rap pop shit. New rap pop kind of shit.
I don't remember any of the songs right now there.
I did have Skillet there for a little bit, but then they knocked it off and put this rappy shit. It's not really rap.
So before it used to hype you up when you start to watch and there was fireworks, so it made it feel like you were about to go for a ride of some sort. See? Now it's just like a dead feel with like picture of fireworks. And then it starts.
Like, what was it? It was like boom, and then they had like them fighting like a little signature, and it was like even the signature, you know, the whoa, 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 and then it had like a quick like section of like the WWE logo that you thought, oh shit's gonna get started. Now it's this. Like it just sounds awful.
That's a sign of death.
Like it's just I don't know, man. Like On an unrelated note there, WJ Wrestling, it's been announced now that I'm going to be going out of lockdown on June 21st, and they ain't going to do no more lockdowns again.
You're getting out of lockdown?
Yeah, I'm getting out. I'm going to be free, and I'm going to be bucking all the birds and getting absolutely drunk off my...
You're in lockdown till June?
Yeah, till June, yeah.
Holy shit. They've taken down some of the restraints there or whatever.
No, we have no, we're still on restraints right now.
We're not on lockdown anymore, that we're forced to stay inside. Yeah, I think we still have to come home, but we're allowed to go and eat inside somewhere now.
Oh, fuck. I hate sitting in a park bench. I'm becoming friends with seagulls now, WJ. It's gotten that bad. I'm sitting there
for a while, we weren't allowed to sit even on the park bench. We had to just fucking run to the store and run back, or else you could get arrested.
God, they wouldn't let you you can't even go for a walk? If you want to exercise?
You can go for a walk, but you can only go once or twice or something like that, and then you have to go back in the house.
Oh my god,
it's very, very strict here.
There's
no gym open either.
I mean, I understand the reason behind it, but God, that's just it's rough. Especially if you like to exercise, if you like to walk, take long walks, or it kind of could drive somebody insane.
Yeah, it's driving me insane, Robby. I've gone mad since I'm not gonna lie, it's been quite tough for me. If it was me in 2009 or something, when I was a fucking nerdy, wordy, fucking anorexic twat where I just sat in the house all day, I'd be loving it. But I'm not that person anymore. I actually love socializing, so. Florida hasn't even had a lockdown. They don't give a fuck. They just do it anyway and just see what happens.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad here in South Carolina still.
There's not even gym or anything. I haven't worked out since November last year. That's how fucking bad it is. I had to get these I showed WJ those rubber bands and stuff. Fuck me, man. It's so hard here. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, if they do another lockdown, I'm just moving to Florida. I'll just move with Big Lanny or something from the Delray Misfits or something like that. It's just, Jesus Christ, it's fucking hard, man, here.
Get your job stateside.
Oh, no, that's what I definitely see once this lockdown all goes over. I'll be definitely trying to look to move to America after this. No fucking way. Greener pastures.
You got any relatives in the States, Gerry?
What's that?
You got any relatives over here?
I've got a good few friends like fucking Khalif and Calvin and Sean and stuff like that. So I definitely I'm gonna try and actually go internal in the company I'm in to try and actually go to America.
Oh yeah, that'd be the best thing, because then they can get your permit, your what they call it, visa, and maybe you can apply for permanent residence and then citizenship.
You know what's crazy, Robby? I actually nearly went to America last year. I actually got an interview and all for it. It was a job in it was in New York City. I actually got an interview for it, and then whenever I did it, then the whole fucking pandemic thing happened, and then I had to cancel it.
Hopefully that'll come back. Maybe you can, once all this shit passes or gets back somewhat normal.
The only good thing about this whole thing is that I haven't taken a bus ride in a year, which is fucking amazing. That's the only thing.
But bus is a fucking hot spot probably to get COVID. There, hundreds of people in the small bus breathing in and out all day, and you always have a couple dicks who take off the mask there.
Oh yeah, like there was
Here,
this.
a lot of people only wear them here. I mean, you got people that do, but I've been in stores where there's been people walking around with no mask. I mean, they don't like it. Since in Walmart, you can't go in. They don't let you go in at all. But some of the other stores, it says to wear a mask, but they don't really say anything. They may give you a dirty look. Like I wear my mask, but that's about all I do. They don't really enforce it. But I
Over
mean,
here, it's kind of enforced unless they're elderly, like.
yeah.
But I'll give you a funny story. I get told WJ this, but because as you guys all know, I fucking vape and stuff. So I went into a store, right, had my mask on and stuff like that. And I went into the store and all that there to order, you know, the vape oil and stuff. So I walk in and it's this old man. He's like fucking 80 years of age or whatever. He goes up to me, he goes, "Who are you?" And I'm like, my name's Gerry. He just does the thing in Ireland. They go, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "I'm Gerry." "Gerry who?" And I was like, you know, and I just said my last name. And he was just like, "And where are you from?" I was like, "I'm from here." And then he was taking ages to order like his actual own stuff. Like, so the guy in the till was like waiting ages for him. So I like ordered the fucking I ordered the fucking e-cigarette oil, and he goes up and he's like, "Oh, I know what they are." By the way, guys, I didn't say it. He said it. He goes, "That's what those gays take, isn't it? To shove up their arses." I'm like, I'm just fucking pissing myself laughing. I'm like, ah! And then the shopkeeper's like, "You can't say that this day and age." You can say what? What do you mean? He was just so confused, and then I just walked out. Like I was like, "That's a good laugh, mate." Not a giveaway story there, WJ.
I'll tell you a story today, Gerry. I ate like a fucking animal at lunch, Gerry. The Bacon King I ordered from Burger King. It was like a Whopper, like the same size as a Whopper, but there was 2 beef patties and a shitload of bacon there. Usually the Whopper, there's like lettuce, tomato. There was no lettuce in that shit, Gerry. All bacon, ketchup, mayonnaise. Plus, I took an extra cheeseburger on top of it, Gerry, and a poutine and an apple pie, Robby, and a blueberry pie on top of it. 2 for $2 there. And I was fucking full like a son of a bitch. Gerry.
The world's ending, WJ. You might as well. Like,
getting fat, Gerry. I need to start losing weight there. Like Robby's on a diet. He lost a lot of weight, Robby.
Well, I've lost about 30 pounds.
Oh, fuck, that's good, man. Well done.
Yeah, because see, the diabetic diet I'm on, like, I mean, that's a lot of reason why. Plus, I've been walking. So, but yeah, I'm down to like 280. I think I right 282. I weighed myself today. I was over 300, but I didn't get it down to 282. I want to get down to 200 or 190, somewhere like that. You know, me and WJ be close to the same weight then.
So I'm like 220. I've gained about 20 pounds.
It's hard.
Since December, like I fucking tried to quit smoking and I just ate like a fucking pig. Fuck. And gained a bunch of weight, and then I fucking smoked and fucking gained weight. And next thing I know, I'm on YouTube doing videos every day. I'm smoking. I'm gaining a bunch of weight. Now I'm on nicotine gum there for about a week, but it ain't easy. And we're gonna do this fucking this live show format there and dump this onto YouTube. And for those that might watch this on YouTube, if we upload this on there, you can join the group there, Wrestling Juggernauts group on Facebook. If you want to watch some of these things live there and more shit that you're not going to get on the YouTube channel, we're going to take some of the stuff here and feature it on YouTube there. But The base is going to be here, Gerry, pretty much is how we're going to do it, I guess.
That's right. Fist in your face. Face in your
face in your face.
Face in your face. Word. Yeah. No, because just what I'll do is I'll just edit this probably tomorrow or whatever, and then splice it up and cut it up into some guacamole. And get
or
that
this,
up
you can maybe just dump the whole thing as is. Fuck.
I might as well just dump it
just dump this whole thing. But then we're gonna do maybe starting next week more of like some type of podcast there of some sort there.
Oh well.
We'll do some kind of podcasts and then we'll upload full show on YouTube. Maybe do some because I think that's the natural progression at my age. I don't think I'm supposed to, I'm going to be 38 years old there once I'm 40-something there. Am I supposed to be on YouTube screaming about wrestling there 7 days a week, Gerry? I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to do there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So maybe podcast format like this is the way to go for me down the road there.
Definitely.
I think that's like when you see a lot of older folk that talk about wrestling, it's usually like podcast form, or even the older wrestlers there, Bischoff, Vince Russo. It's all like not comparing myself to them, but I mean, you don't see 50-year-old guys yelling on YouTube, you know what I mean? They usually do it in podcast form, The whole thing of yelling on YouTube and bashing everything for views and having drama wars. I think that's more of a young man's game nowadays. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think my time has passed for that. Like we're still going to have a presence on YouTube. I'm still going to be making a product that's going to get uploaded to YouTube, but it's not going to be the same style. It's just going to be me talking with Gerry and Robby when he's available about wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, even Don, Tony, and Kevin Castle, they've split now, and they're not even doing any of the podcasting and stuff. Yeah.
They don't do it anymore.
Yeah, they had a really bad split now. They're like fighting with each other, and it's not too fucking good. Like, my thoughts and prayers are with you too. My thoughts and prayers.
The news, Gerry. When I was on Twitter, I came across this thing. If you go on Twitter right now, Gerry, and apparently a few days ago, and so this appeared on TMZ's Twitter page too there.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, if you write like UFO New Mexico on Twitter, apparently a pilot saw a UFO or what he thinks was a UFO or something.
Mm-hmm.
You want to look at that real quick, Gerry?
What's this? The what? Sorry.
Go on the Twitter and type UFO New Mexico. See what comes up.
Well, that's how we look. Or UFO New Mexico. Get the aliens going.
Dive into a fun topic here in Wrestling Juggernauts. We discuss wrestling there, but we also talk about other topics there.
Let's see here.
I just came across this today there. Some pilot, he says that a cylinder-shaped object flew past the plane, and people are saying, is it a UFO? Is it a missile?
Oh.
Apparently, the airline is saying that the pilot saw this, and according to TMZ, According to TMZ, the FBI said they're aware of it.
Oh, I mean, there's definitely aliens there. Like, these people thinking that there's no such thing as aliens. You gotta be on crack cocaine, like.
But some people were saying it's New Mexico and they test military over there. And some people were saying it couldn't have been a missile at that section. Blah blah. I don't know. It's just something I came across on Twitter there today.
American Airlines pilot is baffled. Yeah.
What does it say? I didn't read a lot of it. I just saw like
audio apparently. Hang on.
The guy talks about that like it's appearing on some news a bit there.
He said a cruise missile just flew over the fucking top of them.
Huh.
Did he say it was a cruise missile? I don't think he says that there.
In the audio, he says that, but then he says it's a UFO.
Can we hear the clip?
Oh, I wish we could actually. I don't think we can. Hang on. Give me a second. Right. Hang on. I'll just. You know what? I'll take my headset off.
Fox News, I think, too, and stuff.
All right. Let me play it here. Hang on. Right.
I don't see the missile fly over. I mean, Roger now.
I think it was probably a missile or something. It's like
up here, we just had something go right over the top of us. I hate to say this, looked like a long cylindrical object. It almost looked like a cruise missile type of thing moving really fast. It went right over the top of us.
I told you they're real, like.
He said it almost looked like a cruise missile. So is that what it was, or?
So essentially, he was saying that it's a UFO. So
technically,
he said it's shaped like a cruise missile. He's not saying it was a missile.
Exactly.
And they're talking like it could be a UFO, like.
Oh, this is interesting. So this is just breaking news that came up about it. The FAA is refuting the pilot's sighting at the time in New Mexico, telling TMZ FAA air traffic controllers did not see any object in the area on their radar scopes. Yous are full of absolute doggy doo-doo. Like, don't you? That is a real fucking. I'm telling you now, WJ. See all these people that seem to think that the UFOs aren't real. They're 110% real, mate. I'm telling you now.
Did you see the footage that was released a little while ago? It looks like a little cube thing. It's like floating over the water, and it was a thing that the pilot caught on camera, and he like zooms in on it with the radar of the plane, and he catches it, and you see it go, let's say, and they caught it like the people down below that can track that shit, they caught it too, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how you could look that up there, but it was a couple of months back that they it was a pilot like that, and they caught it like on the camera and on the radar, and it looked like a cube thing that was like.
Oh yeah, I seen that.
It was like floating over the ocean kind of deal.
Well, I mean, there was loads of them. Or like I told you the story of what happened to me.
What?
I told you the story. I think I told the story before about me seeing an actual UFO.
Tell it again for the audience, Jerry. We got more members in the group. We're up to 200, Jerry. Add your friends. Tell your friends to join.
Tell your mother, tell your father, tell your daughters, tell your wives. Because the wrestling juggernauts are taking over there. You want me to say a story, do you? Right. Oh, fuck, right. Okay, right. So, now I want to just preference this. I did have a few drinks during it, but that doesn't discredit what I saw because I know exactly what I saw, right? So me and my friend were having a few drinks, right? And we were sitting there chilling out, blah, blah, blah. So we go outside. This is back when I was smoking cigarettes. And we go outside. I'm smoking a cigarette and stuff like that. I look up and my mate's like, Gerry, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, mate, it's just a white light. And it was up by this chimney, right? So this big tall chimney. So it's sitting right beside this chimney and stuff. But it looked like a star, if that makes sense. But it was very close. And he went, mate, that looks very weird than a star. And all of a sudden it started moving. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I went, right, okay. Okay, yeah, this is starting to get a bit weird. So I'll just give you some visualary things here. So the star's like this here, and it goes like that, and then it goes like that, and then it goes like that, and it's like moving sporadically to the point where I'm just like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So it's going like this here and all that there. So we're like looking at it, and it starts like moving like sporadically, like something that shouldn't move that way in the sky. And then it started getting closer and closer and closer and closer to the point where it was almost as if like it was like very close to us in the sky. Now I'm not talking like, you know, like fucking close, like about the size of a fucking house. It was at that height towards us. So we're fucking looking at it. And it just goes and just fucking flies out of the sky. And me and my mate fucking shit ourselves and just run back in the fucking, you know, where we're drinking and stuff. Fucking absolutely mental. And I'll tell you another one. It was a group of us. We were, you know, just chilling out and stuff, having a campsite. And this is like dead night. I'm talking like midnight, whatever it might be. And we're literally watching the exact same thing happen. This thing in the sky, and it's moving again sporadically. So me and my mate, he went, that's it. And they were all laughing at us. Our mates were like, haha, you're full of shit. He went, and me and my mate were at point saying, that's the bloody thing that we've seen. But this thing did something different. So that put in your back of your minds, it's pure night. It's acting again all sporadically and stuff like that. And it does it again. But see, the nighttime, it goes to day, like in a second. Like, it's a bright light, but it goes into daytime, like for 1 second, and then just shoots right out of the fucking sky. And we ran away. Like, we just bolted fucking away, wherever the hell it was, just bolted, grabbed all our shit and just ran. And it was crazy what happened. And, essentially what happened was me and my mate, we were talking to these UFO kind of so-called experts, and they said that they have seen some really suspicious fucking like crazy shit where we were living and stuff, because essentially what happens is that it was beside an airfield, okay? But the thing is that a lot of these kind of UFOs are beside like airplanes or whatever the hell it might be. And I have a feeling that some of these kind of little white dots are like scouter kind of fucking drones. You know what I mean? And I do believe that they are fucking checking us out. And that they're analyzing us. I do believe aliens are 100% real. Don't give a fuck what anyone says. I know exactly what I saw. It weren't no drone that we have here, but I think it was some alien type of drone or whatever the fuck it was. And it was some freaky ass goddamn shit. But I'll tell you another funny one, right? I was watching YouTube. This was in 2008, 2009, right? And I'm watching this YouTube video, and it was like almost like a live kind of fucking feed. It was not a live feed. It was just a video, right? And it was only kind of recently uploaded. This was back when the YouTube algorithm, you could upload and get viewership or whatever. So I'm watching this and stuff like that. And it's these two guys going into Area 51, right? So they're going into, this is before Area 51, you know, the whole fucking meme shit. Now I do believe that they moved Area 51 to another location. Personally, for me, if you want my conspiracies on it, that's what I believe. But but what happened was that they were in Area 51, and these two fellas are like recording it, and they're at the border. Okay, so this old couple drive up beside them in this van, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go right through the border, right?" So the guy's like, "No, don't do that, just like because you might get in trouble." So they bolt right through the fucking border, and they're burying down, right? And they're going right down where the fucking desert is. And out of the blue, the guy's like recording it. This black van just starts following them. So then they're freaking out, right? They're just like, what the hell is going on? So they drive away. So I go to look at the comments, and it kind of like glitches a bit, and I refresh it. Video got taken down. True fucking shit. What do you think of that there, WJ? If you're still there. I think he's away. What do you think of that there, Robby?
Oh, man, it's possible. I've never seen him, so I can't really say.
I've never seen a ghost, but I've seen two UFOs. Like, I've seen two UFOs. They're fucking. Oh yeah, the one I recorded the other day, last year. There was one I recorded outside my home. I put it as a story, and it wasn't as severe as the other ones, but it was kind of acting like the other ones, like this little white light going towards you a little bit, but it wasn't acting as sporadic as the other ones though. But
yeah, I've had some weird experiences, but I always question when I have an experience because, you know, sometimes it can be something else going on. Like me and my ex-wife, we moved into a house one time that had been vacant for quite a while. And we're moving our stuff in, and I had the back door open. And you know, if you like these houses, they have screen doors. You can pop them, or you can whatever be open. Where if you're moving stuff in, you don't have to constantly open the door. So, anyways, we're moving our stuff in. We had just finished moving everything in, and the door was still open. It wasn't windy outside, so I know it wasn't a wind that did it. The door slammed like in the back of the house. We were in the front of the house. And then the door to the room that we moved our stuff in slammed shut. And it was like within seconds of each other. And it freaked me out, but I can't prove that was, you know, to me, I don't know if it was something in the house that was pissed off because we moved in, or, you know, sometimes if people die in a house, their spirit will stay there. And like if they get you come in, they might leave the house or stuff like that happens. So I don't know if that's what somebody died in the house. We were told there's an old woman that died in there. So we think that it was probably that spirit that was there. They didn't like us being there, and they left. So I don't know, but that's just a theory.
But yeah, so I've heard a few. I've never experienced a ghost. I have to be honest. I went to like some haunted fucking house thing, but I never really. I wouldn't. It was nothing to kind of say that.
But I've never seen like what they call those apparition or nothing like that.
Yeah,
I've seen stuff like that. Like I've seen a rocking chair move by itself. I've seen shit like that, but I've never, you know, seen like an actual apparition. Like some people say they see apparitions. My mom claims she saw one. I've never seen an apparition.
That's no, Matt. Like I've never honestly experienced a ghost. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it scared the shit out of me on that episode of me and my ex-wife. We both were like, "What the fuck was that?" And, you know, we just figured that when the woman told us that our landlord told us that there was a woman that lived there that died in the house. So maybe that was her spirit. Maybe they'd been there for all that time and we interrupted them. But we intruded on them or whatever.
got a comment here. My dad and I saw a UFO driving home one night, and it was this orange/white orb like light, and it was moving super fast up in the sky. It's actually the 8th anniversary of seeing it today, actually. Oh, fuck. That's fucking freaky there. Like, fucking hell.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say they've seen UFOs. So, I mean, I'm not doubting. I just haven't had it, but there's that many people claiming seeing something. There's got to be something going on.
So one time when I was working as a security guard a long, long time ago, I was working outside, and I had seen something that looked like it had like orange and yellow lights kind of deal. It was like orange and yellow light, and then it just went super fast out of nowhere. You know what I mean? It just disappeared like a shooting star kind of thing, you know? So me and the other guy, we thought it was something, you know?
Fucking mad. Like, I generally do believe fucking aliens are. I think that they're analyzing us and they're just like, what a bunch of absolute weirdos. That's what I think. I also have other conspiracy theories, but I don't think anybody wants to hear out. Like, you know what I mean?
Express yourself, Jerry.
What should I say it, WJ?
Well, let me tell you something that happened with me and my woman one time when we were walking home. I was walking, and it was like the sun was going down kind of thing, and the moon was coming up. You know what I'm saying? But like when we were walking home, it looked like there was a big fucking red ball in the sky. You know what I mean? Like a big fucking orange red ball. Like, I don't know if it looked like there was a big planet there. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And we were both seeing this there. Okay, it was like a big ass fucking ball. And we're like, what is this? Is this the sun? Is this like, what are we seeing? You know what I mean? So I went home. I grabbed my phone to take a picture. I come out, and then it was just the moon. You know what I mean? It was just like the moon, like a small, regular size moon. You understand?
Fucking hell.
But like 3-4 minutes before, I was seeing like a big ass red ball in the sky kind of thing, you know? So I don't know if there was some kind of visual thing that happened there, or some kind of illusion. Somehow I was seeing a reflection of something, or maybe me and her, we were both fucking smelling fumes from the sewer on the way home. We both saw the same kind of mirage. Or maybe it was one of those glitches, Jerry, that they talk about on YouTube. There,
now you're getting into the realm of things, WJ. That's all I say here.
Is that the glitches, Jerry? These real life glitches there. Have you seen some of these videos on YouTube? It's like a car that appears out of nowhere and a guy that appears out of nowhere, stuff like this there.
Have you seen the NPC theory? Have you seen that before?
No.
It's essentially where an NPC theory is where what they'll do is like essentially it's every time you walk to work you see that one person, but then when you go to another location you keep seeing that one person over and over and over again. But it's essentially like in your area, it's like a group of people. Like I know, like it's hard to kind of explain, but like it's like you see the same person in these random locations, but you wouldn't usually see them. But they're like different people, if that makes sense. But they look exactly the same.
Okay.
If that makes sense, like an NPC kind of fucking theory.
Like a program, like this is going with like that it's a simulation kind of territory there.
Well, I have a conspiracy theory, WJ, and I believe that they're trying to make us weaker, WJ. That's what I think.
Who?
The government. I feel as if you look at like a Big Lanny's onto something. I agree with Big Lanny. Like if you look at like weed, for example, it was illegal for many years. Alcohol was illegal in America and stuff like that. But what happened was that people kind of just stopped really drinking. They were trying to work out and fucking get themselves strong and get themselves bulked up and be strong human beings. But if you look at what's happening now, they randomly started legalizing weed. And I'll tell you why they did. They want to make society weaker and they want you in your job, right? So essentially they want you to pretty much like go into work. At the end of the day, you have a drink, alcohol, or you have some weed, and then the whole thing repeats itself. And it's essentially like a little treat that the government and all these elitists give you for your work. And what they do is it progressively makes you weaker. And if you look at what they're doing with pension schemes, etc., like they're lowering it to a point where it's barely anything. And that's what a lot of these government elitists and all us here want to do. They want to make society more weaker. They want to make us just follow exactly this routine. That's why I'm very suspicious of this whole. I'm not gonna be a weirdo and say COVID-19 is not real because I do believe it's real. But it's important to question everything that happens. It's very, very important to question everything happens. I'll show WJ. I was even telling WJ the other day. I was on an official governmental website, and I have a video. I was gonna upload it, but I chickened out and I didn't upload it. But you know what? I might upload it. But it's this article directly from an official UK government website, and it's called "The Fourth Industrial Revolution." The Fourth Industrial Revolution, and in the actual article it clearly states it says genetic genetic modification. That's the actual term, genetic modification, and it says clear. You type in, you go to the UK government website gov.org, and this is an official government website. It's called the Fourth Industrial Revolution, and it says clearly about genetic engineering and genetic modification. Now, well, why would they do that in the middle of talking about robotics and technology? They're up to something, WJ, and I smell something funny. That's what I think. What do you think, Robby, about that there?
That's Jay's quiet. It's interesting. You know, I think if there's anything monitoring us, like as far as UFOs or life on other planets, they're probably like shaking their heads. Well, we don't want to mess with them. We're good. We'll stay away from Earth. Because
there's a thing where it's saying that they're analyzing us until we hit our prime. But like, if you notice a lot of these UFOs, there's less and less and less. It's because they're looking at us and thinking, what a bunch of fucking morons. That's what I think.
Well, nowadays, a lot more men are looking a lot skinnier and more feminine. And
Yep.
so some people think that they're doing that, making us weaker kind of deal. The women are stronger and the men are becoming weaker, if you see, you know what I mean?
Yep. Some of the women got bigger thighs than the men, like, and that ain't.
Nowadays, it's almost a lot of it is like that. Oh,
But I agree with Big Lanny Siri about that. I do believe that they're like, if you look at like the processed food that we had, you know, back in the day, you'd have pure meat. You're buying meat in a supermarket. It's got more additives than a crack house, like, you know what I mean? It's got all of this stuff in here. It's not pure meat. It's not like, you know, it's not pure. It's not pure nutrient. Now they're putting everything in like a vitamin tablet and everything like that, like all vitamins and stuff, and you have to take it and all that there. It's the nutrition value of what they're telling us essentially to do. I don't trust the government, and I fucking hate them, WJ. I hate them with a passion, because, you know, I don't want to get too political in here, but, you know, like, I just feel as if the fucking government influence too much is influencing us too much as people, and I feel like the government are doing far less and they're getting more money. I'll give an example. WJ, I made some money there, and they took a big chunk out of it. What are they going to do with it? They're going to give it to that old bitch, the Queen. That's what they're going to do. That old fucking bat and her fucking pedophile fucking family. Fucking Prince Andrew, the fucking pedophile bastard, hanging around with Jeffrey Epstein. It's crazy. You know, like, you know, this is a Prince Andrew actually hanged around with Epstein, and he's not in prison. So what does that tell you? You know, the UK government is very, very corrupt. I'll just say that. Every government's corrupted, but you know, and
our government's corrupt too. Every government has corruption in it. You ain't gonna find one that doesn't. Anytime there's big money involved, there's always going to be somebody corrupt in it.
And like, for example, you know, I don't want to get too hardcore in here, like, but the media, for example, I know this from experience from living in Belfast. They kept saying you have to hate Protestants and Protestants have to hate Catholics. And now they're realizing that both Catholics and Protestants are getting along like a house on fire. They're getting along very, very well. So what do? They put Stephen Nolan in there. They put all these media things to make stories of how against Catholics against Protestants and Protestants against Catholics. And it's the exact same thing in America. They're essentially getting people to fight each other for no fucking goddamn reason. A perfect analogy I've seen was you had these if you had red ants, and it was this kind of wildlife thing where the black ants and the red ants, and you put them in a jar, they'll actually leave each other alone. But if you shake the actual jar itself, they all actually kill each other because of the reaction that happens. And that's what the media essentially do. They shake it up. They try and get everyone to fucking attack each other and all that there. But
divide and conquer.
Exactly.
Divide and conquer. Protestants are the same religion, really. I mean, they just have a little differences in them.
Yeah. Because they don't believe in the Virgin Mary and stuff like that. That's the only difference.
I mean, it's the same deity, pretty much. They're both worshiping the same deity. It's like I don't understand why Jews and Muslims hate each other. Muslims claim that they worship the same God as the Jews. Well, it's crazy. I don't know.
It's a mad world that we live in. Like,
yeah.
So once again, if you're listening to this on YouTube, there you can join the Wrestling Juggernauts group on Facebook if you're not a nutcase or whatever there.
If you're not a nutcase.
And you can watch these shows live there. Get the show live first there, and additional content that you'll find only in the group or whatever there. Stay tuned for more content that will be posted here to YouTube as well. Stuff that you can see if you join the group.
Well, I'm going to be off a few times actually next week, so I'll be able to do more shows like this, and Robby and WJ and everyone else can join. I might get Righty on for a fucking AEW rant. I'm gonna try and get Righty on for like a AEW Part 2 type thing. Food reviews, Mark. That's correct. Food reviews. I might do a food review now and then. You know what I mean? But I'll do it on our terms and have a few drinks and a few smokes while we're doing it.
Do it our way, Gerry. It might not be the right way, but it's our way, Gerry.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Have we said everything that needs to be said,
I
Gerry?
think we have. We're nearly hitting like 2.5 hours now.
Beautiful, Gerry. We got it all. Wrestling, alien, conspiracy talk. We're going to expand on the conspiracy talk next time, Gerry. That, you were bringing up there. We'll see where this goes, ladies and gentlemen. There.
WJ, you want to sign us out?
Until next time, peace.